took a little longer than expected. Hey guys, it's Remnant, and today I have come with the update video I promised how many days ago? A while. Yeah, apologies for that. Life has been a bit busy. And by busy, I mean, excruciating. If you're wondering why I haven't uploaded in so long, or, well, given many updates, it's because, my PC broke. Yeah. This is an older picture, but you get the idea. My computer has looked like that for months now, and it's finally decided that it's time to just turn off and not turn on again, which sucks because that means I've lost a lot of files and a lot of everything that is related to this project, which luckily I was able to recover from my hard drive, which is, just dandy. But that means that I have been unable to animate much of anything as of late, and I'm stuck and reduced to recording on a laptop. Yay. Luckily, I do believe this is all temporary, as by around January 7th, I should have a new computer showing up in the mail, which is honestly way better than this one, like by miles. Miles and miles and miles. And I'm hoping that that will help the project out a lot. In other news, I have some things to share that, well, up until my computer broke, I was working on, and yes, I've recovered them, but I can't work on them until later next month, or early next month. But I can showcase what I have done so far. For starters, I have been trying to improve my skills on just about everything. Modeling, texturing, and other stuff. Animating, of course, is something I'm always trying to improve, but I can only do so much for right now. This is my take on the Style Warp from Diesel Knights, which, if you haven't heard of that game, go check it out. It's basically Titanfall 3. But I think I'm proud of it. This is the original model for comparison. I think I did decently, especially compared to where I was modeling literally earlier this year. This is just a side-by-side comparison. I think I did fantastic for what I had. Yeah, so that's great. And I've also been trying to learn how to texture it with little to no success, mostly because I was cut short, but, that's just how it goes sometimes. Animation is more of the same. I've been working on a lot of stuff, and I keep mentioning this, but got a little sidetracked. So hopefully when I get my new computer, I can try and fix that. I've also been playing with the idea of maybe learning the workflow to export stuff into Unreal Engine 5 so that I can get a lot more efficient render times and realistic animations. That might be cool. If anyone has any tips for that, greatly appreciated. Leave them in the comments, I guess. So that brings me to my next topic. Up until this point, I've really not talked much about the project being Lights of Epsilon for those who might be new. I don't know. I think most people that are watching this have probably been sticking around for at least a while. Regardless of that fact, I want to shed some light on that today. For those of you that have been following this channel for a bit now, you'll know that Lights of Epsilon used to be an Armored Core 4 and Faranza related project. That has very much changed. I believe I talked a bit about that, but I didn't really mention in what way that was changing. For starters, I have made the decision to move the project from Armored Core 4 to Armored Core 6, and I think that this is a good idea for a lot of reasons. Even though I understand that some of you might be disappointed to hear that, just because you were looking forward to an older gen AC project, I would like to explain my reasoning first. So if it is not obvious by this point, I am not that well versed in the actual lore of Armored Core 4. I know some stuff about it. I've definitely played through the game. I've beat the game entirely. One of my favorite AC games of all time. I just really wasn't paying attention to the lore during the time I played it, so don't know much about it. And that's like trying to make something about a game or a project and not knowing any of the source material whatsoever, which, would not be a good idea. So I switched to AC6 for that main reason. I'd like to say I know pretty much everything about Armored Core 6's lore, but I'm not gonna be arrogant with that. I learned most of it through a video by the talented VodiVidya, because during the time when I got into Armored Core 6, I became very obsessed with the lore, and so I was actually willing to sit down and watch a video that was over 5 hours in a single sitting. That should say something. in that video, Vadi mentions the fact that Gun 1 Michigan used to be involved with Furlong, the Furlong armed fleet specifically, and in one of the data logs it can be sort of inferred that there was a war, something to do with Jupiter, hence the Jupiter War, which is what's mentioned in the log. And that idea has stuck with me for a long time. I think a few of you have commented before asking whether or not this project is related to that. Yes, it is. In fact, that is basically the main goal of the project. It's one of those things in Armored Core 6 that really isn't touched on outside of this one singular data log, and I feel like there's a lot that could be expanded upon. I dropped a teaser video earlier this year, well, by a month or two or so, relating to a kind of side project that is a subsidiary of Lights of Epsilon called Armored Core Lights of Epsilon Demon, and honestly at this point I feel like it's easier to just veto that and turn it into a pilot episode for Lights of Epsilon because, well, for one, I've improved my animation skills since then, so I don't feel like this is a reflection of what I can do, and that sucks. And also because with the new computer showing up, I have the tools, or I will now have the tools that I need to continue the project. The reason that I discontinued the project temporarily being that I lacked the proper computing power and just hardware to support that. And now I will have it, so I don't see really a reason to veto the project any longer. So, that brings me to kind of the main focus of this video, being an update for what the plot of this project is, and I've kind of already, told everyone that it's about the Jupiter War, but I feel like I should go a little more in depth without spoiling too much. Lights of Epsilon is a fan series that details the Jupiter War. I've explained that much already. It is dedicated to focusing on a small group of independent mercenaries known as Epsilon, which is where it gets its name, that are part of a much larger conflict between Furlong, Arquebus, and Balaam against a sort of militia. Over the course of years and years of mistreatment by the corporations, the citizens on the Jupiter colonies have sort of grown tired of the way they've been treated by the corporations and the way they've been used, and so they rise up and they form their own militia and they steal Arquebus technology and they form this sort of small-scale corporation known as Zeus. It's a militia, it's an uprising. Obviously the corporations do not approve of this, but they got a hold of experimental Arquebus technology, and that is making dealing with them very difficult, and it's also creating tension in the corporations between the opposing corporations, and so they are employing, as in any AC game, the use of independent mercenaries to kind of help out with that issue. Epsilon just happens to be at the forefront of all of it when they get assigned a special task of destroying an Arquebus, or stolen Arquebus data, and destroying a Zeus outpost that contains that data, and they recover something that they probably shouldn't have recovered. The leader of Epsilon, Albrecht, is his call sign, was assigned that task, and he is the main character of the show. He is an augmented human from Gen 2, and he is very, very cunning and very lethal. This ties in to a lot of the show, and it becomes a problem later on when he's faced to make decisions that he would otherwise not want to make. And that is really all I'm willing to spoil about the show for now. Keep in mind, there's a lot more that I have not said anything regarding. So, it's going to be pretty crazy, and I'm hoping that it's something that everyone can enjoy. Of course, the show is nothing without the community that has helped out so far. I can't say enough about the awesome people over on Discord and the people that have given their time to help out the project. Which brings me to my next statement. If you haven't heard, I have had a little help with the soundtrack from Shock Music, who has delivered fully. I mean, what more can I say? The music sounds fantastic. There is a few tracks that I will not share, mostly because I want to keep it a surprise to everyone. Of course, Shock can do whatever they want as a creator. They can post whatever they want. I'm in no control of that. But I mean, just listen to this. This is fantastic. This is the only creator I have ever been able to find that has ever come this close to matching Armored Core 6's soundscape, and it sounds fantastic. I have no words here. Thank you so much for helping out. And I mean, with that, I really don't have a lot of time, unfortunately. It's been a bit of a busy week this week, and, well, I have a lot to focus on and wrap up. And I'm hoping that this update will suffice and provide a bit of insight as to what's going on behind the scenes right now. Come January, I will have a lot of big things to share, and I'm very excited for that. Rest assured, this is just, I feel like I need to clarify, the project is definitely not dead. It's just been very slow movement for the time being. Thank you so much for, tuning in to listen to this. It means a lot to me, and I just hope that I'm able to deliver on my end. Oh yeah, also, before I forget, we hit 1K. That's crazy and something I never expected. So yeah, that's fantastic. I'll see if I can't do something about that, but yeah, I've made it a goal never to ask anyone to subscribe to the channel, and I still won't ask anyone. In fact, if you hear this, I encourage you to not, basically, because every time I see a video that, has that at the beginning, it annoys me, and I don't want to inspire that same feeling on my channel, so just don't even worry about it. Regardless, thanks again for tuning in, and I'm gonna catch you all in the next time, and, hopefully with some more updates. Peace.